Hi, another unboxing and first impression today. It's going to be a first impression because I haven't smelled this fragrance for a very long time. As a matter of fact, I wanted to buy it again because I remember liking it because I had a small sample of it for a very long time ago, and I thought, yeah, I should get this back. And when the opportunity came up at a very good price, then I purchased it. And I must say, the last time I actually went to test it, last couple of times I've been meaning to test it to see if I actually really wanted a full bottle of it. The department stores that I went to, or the premium department store that I went to, the tester bottle they had for this was empty. As with a lot of the other fragrances that they had, the good ones, that were empty. And I asked the sales assistant and I said, why is this bottle empty? Why don't you just get a new one out, a new tester out? And they said, oh, that's because people steal them, so we just leave them empty. And I said, really? Well, how am I expected to know what it actually smells like if I can't test it? And it's not a designer fragrance, it's a niche fragrance. And at the department store, they're selling these for over $500 a bottle. Now, I'm not going to plonk down $500 without testing it first. And I recall back in the day when you could walk into a premium department store and say, hello, I'm interested in this fragrance and I would like to purchase it, but I'm not quite sure yet. And they would say, sure. And the sales assistant would actually reach down in the drawer and give you a carded sample so that you can take home and wear it over the course of a few days. And then you would think about it and whether or not you would actually want to purchase a full bottle of it. Those days seem to be long gone, and in its stead we have people who sell decants, and that's a very fine service. I don't mind that at all, especially with the prices of niche fragrances. You definitely need to get a small sample of them so that you can test it and see if it's really for you before you plonk down hundreds and maybe sometimes thousands of dollars for a bottle of juice. But it is a sign of the times and the changing of the levels of service that those of us who have been in this particular, I guess, hobby, it's not a hobby, but in this addiction, that things are changing. The levels of service have changed slightly. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to show you what I'll be unboxing. It's probably quite obvious by the title, but here's a picture of the box. It looks like this. This is Epic Man by Amouage, and I've only got a 50 ml because, again, Amouage fragrances are very beastly most of the time, and they do project, and they're very strong. They're high in oils, and therefore they last a very long time. You don't need to overspray these, and as I have learned the hard way by doing so with my other Amouage fragrances. Now, this one's a made in Oman one. There is some debate out there as to whether or not the ones that are made in Oman are actually better than the ones that are made in the UK. I'm not going to weigh in on that debate. I'm not going to go there. However, there is also the debate of whether or not the ones with the magnetic cap are better, or actually are worse than the ones with the non-magnetic cap. It's always the way, isn't it? That fragrance houses get bigger and they dilute their juice, and yeah, it gets worse. So let's open it up. I actually like the Amouage men's bottles. They actually look quite nice and quite elegant. And Epic, as you can see here on the side of the box, has got some Chinese characters there. And that just means, that says, subscribe to my channel. That's what it says. Epic is because of the epic journey that they make. It's about the Silk Road. It's about the story of the Silk Road, and of course that runs through a lot of China and Asia. Whoops. Let's open it up like this. Typical Amouage offering right there, and its little felt sort of cardboardy base. And here is the bottle. There you go, nice green tinge to the bottle with the Cyclops in the lid. All right, let's go. This is a magnetic cap, that's fine, I don't really care. All the Amouages that I've got are magnetic cap ones anyway. I'm going to spray it on here. I think that was too much. It is a warm day here today, so I don't want to go overboard. So upon the first blast, you're getting hit with this pink pepper. Pink pepper is really prominent here. But once that sort of dies down, you are getting a hint of what's to come, which is those resinous sort of base notes in here. You got a lot of myrrh in here. You've got some oud in here as well. And what's that? Olibanum. Various types of resins and spices. I don't know if of an Amouage that doesn't have some kind of resinous or spicy kick to it. It's just their thing, and they're very good at it. A little bit of sweetness from the myrrh over there. I get some hints of sweetness from the myrrh, but it isn't actually a sweet fragrance, right? And don't be fooled by the color of the bottle. It's not a green fragrance either. Some smokiness coming out now, some incensey smokiness coming out now. And this is supposed to take you on a journey from east to west of Asia, as with all the spice trade and the Silk Road and the touring of flavors and the trade that was done between the different types and tribes of people along that route. Very important. There's a very interesting sort of story about the trade routes of ye olden times. This was one that I always wanted in my wear-ection, not a collection. I just like the color, the bottle, and the juice inside it, so the whole package. I neglected, or I actually chose not to get Interlude Man. I opted for Interlude Woman because I like that one better. Interlude Man gives me too much of a Giacomo de Giacomo kind of vibes, which I already have, and I don't think I'll get much use out of Interlude Man. I've tested Black Iris as well, and 53 if anybody is asking, and I don't think that I want a stronger version of this for the time being. Let's give it a little bit of time for this to sort of mellow out and transition into the mids, and then we'll come back and give an update. All right, welcome back. Let's move on because we're in the mids now of this fragrance, and wow, I'm picking up a lot more geranium in here, which is giving it this sort of smooth, sort of dry, almost, how can I describe this? It's like a geranium in here is like smooth when you rub your hand across a very finely sanded table or a piece of paper or something like that. It's just, that's what it is. And there's leather in here with the saffron, which is giving it an alcohol kind of vibe as well. Those two mixing together, that's typical. Amouage has so many notes going on, and there's a lot of accords that come and go, and different noses pick up different things, and different skin chemistries make those accords become more pronounced on some people and less pronounced on others, and vice versa. So it's going to be different on me as it is on you, maybe. But I'm telling you right now that there is this alcohol, like this drink. It's not rum, it's not brandy, but it's alcohol of some kind in there, and it's not the perfumer's alcohol. Come on, it's an Amouage. The oud is there. It hasn't become super prominent just yet. I'm still getting a lot of olibanum and some myrrh in here as well, which sort of give you more sort of resinous, almost sweet, like the idea of sweetness. It's almost like, how can I translate this? It's almost like when you smell cocoa, when you smell cocoa powder, like actual, cacao powder, not the sweetened stuff. And then when you taste it, it tastes really, really bitter. But when you smell it, it smells really, really sweet. So, and that's because you don't have the enzymes on your tongue to be able to taste what you're smelling. So that's that part out of the way. But the feel of what's going on in here is that whilst it actually gives you the idea that there's something sweet there, but there isn't. it's actually quite resinous. It's more woody, leathery, animalic as well. Yeah, ooh. Yeah, a little bit animalic, but you got to dig your nose in at this point in time for that thing to come out. And probably today, like I said, is not the best day to test this out, but I wanted to do it because I've got the whole setup going, and I don't want to wait until winter until I open this bottle. So that's why I'm doing it. So that's what's going on in the mids right now. We'll give it another bit of a break, and we'll come back and talk about the base notes and how it dries down. And if I had the patience, I would come back tomorrow and tell you that it's still there and I need to wash it off, because Amouage fragrances, in my experience, you need to wash them off for the smell to go away. They're just that potent, and they just affix themselves to your skin, on my skin anyway. And a part of the reason why I've got Epic is because it's not such a beast like the Blue Beast is, like Interlude Man. It knows its place. It projects just right, it smells just right, and it lasts, hopefully, just right. So let's take a break and we'll come back with the dry down. All right, and we're back to talk about the base notes. And something weird happened in the transition from the mids to the base. And we're still talking about Epic by Amouage, this one, Epic Man. Something weird happened in that I felt it actually change from that spicy, sort of incensey, myrrhy, resinous fragrance to something musky. Now, there is musk in here as well, but I didn't expect it to be so prominent and so sharp and to the point. Again, it's a musk with, and the oud has turned kind of medicinal here, but the musk is definitely there. And I think the sharpness may be coming from the castoreum that's in here as well, the animalic part of it. The fecal elements of that have been sort of muted, but with the combination of the musk, it gives the musk a little sharpness. Usually I find musk to be more like a surround sound kind of feeling, but this one is quite direct. So it's changed. Yeah, and I feel like it's going to, wow, it kind of almost feels like, oh, you know what this smells like? This smells like, okay, so I've been to China many times, and I have family there. And when we were going, the first time we went to all the tourist sites. We went to the Forbidden Palace, which is, you know, a must-do when you're in Beijing. And we were walking around and we got ushered into a private room which had really antique decor in there. Like, the whole place is antique, of course. But this place, they were not letting any of the public in except by invitation. And for some reason, we got let in, perhaps because we looked quite foreign, and perhaps because my father-in-law had a very large Louis Vuitton duffel bag, and they thought maybe we have money and that we're special guests. And we went in there and we had to sign into a special book. And we saw the names of many diplomats and dignitaries and politicians and celebrities and the like. And of course we signed in there as well as nobodies. And we sat down and they made us tea. And I remember the ornate carvings on the chairs that we were sitting on, and the tables as well, which had seen a lot of wear, and there was a lot of stories to be told within the patina of the wood that had emerged over the course of centuries of being there. That room smelled like this. It smelled like this. That room, of course, it was full of the Chinese coromandels as well, the lacquerware, and we were in there having tea. We were having cha. And they made us the whole thing with the bowls and the cups, and they made all the noise, and then we drank it. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. I wonder why we're here. And as I was wondering that, they ushered us into the next room, which had all these really lovely artworks and scriptures, sort of handwritten, sort of calligraphy as well of the Chinese characters of luck and prosperity and all that kind of thing. Even ones that have been written on scrolls made of buffalo hide and things like that. And I realized, I was like, oh, what's all the little tags next to all of these things that they're showing us? Those were price tags because we were put into a very exclusive and very expensive bespoke gift shop. However, once I realized that, I thought, oh, okay, they're trying to sell us stuff. However, the furniture in there was legit. It was totally an awesome experience, and apart from thanking them and leaving politely, we didn't actually end up buying anything. But I was very close to actually purchasing something, because the actual experience of it just makes you in the mood to purchase something to cap off a memorable event in your life. I do remember the smell of that room, and if I can find it, I'll put a picture of it. I'll put a picture of that room and the furniture that was there, because I took some pictures while I was in there as well. And it smells like this. Kind of less medicinal than this, but the woody aspects of it and the age of the wood and the things that the wood had absorbed, and now with the hot sort of tea cups on it, sort of allowing it to sort of radiate some of its aroma into the air. And of course, the structure itself that we were in is also just as old. So that's what it kind of reminds me of. Weird. I'm being taken away. Or maybe it's just that I miss traveling. Maybe we'll get to do that once again someday freely. But until that time, I guess I'm stuck with Amouage's Epic Man, hoping that one day I'll get to do some more epic traveling, and I hope that we all can, and start to increase our mobility around the world and experience new things. And with that, I'll bid you a farewell, and thank you, as always, for watching.